You think most women are capable of running a $20 million organization when most people in general don't have $20 million? You're an exceptional person. You are using your own exceptional certificate.
Has anyone else who's a woman who heard that and said, what the fuck is he talking about? Because that's what I'm thinking about.
You don't care about actual human life.
Where's your fact? How do you know that I don't care about human life?
Look at you.
Here's a child at 16 weeks in the womb. Got it on Google Images if you want the source. So this is my dog Gracie at 28 weeks.
28 weeks, so she's there, yeah.
What was the difference between the picture I just showed you and her?
The first one was a car without a passenger, and this is a car with a passenger.
So your position entirely is about you.
Yeah.
Does that seem a little selfish to you?
100%. I will have no problem being that selfish.
Sorry, I get really angry at people who say that they're Christians, but then say that these children who are made in the image of God should be allowed to be violently ended.
I don't give a fuck about anyone in the womb. I'm talking about the people that are here.
There's a video. I don't give a fuck about anyone in the womb.
Here's the thing. Even if it was a human being entirely, what is the issue with getting rid of it?
What's the issue with killing another human being?
No, I'm saying what's the issue with getting rid of something that isn't contributing to any sort of economy, isn't contributing to any sort of urban population. The only thing that it's actually doing is leaching sorts of nutrients and resources. Go ahead, paint me a villain, but if you want to play this moral line, I feel no issue with falling into it.
So you believe that a person's value
is only
dependent upon, I'm trying to understand your worldview.
I'm saying that
it's only dependent on what they give to society. That's what you just said.
Yeah.
So they're not finished.
Well,
that's what you
First
believe?
of all, there's a couple of different things. You're not about to just shorten my argument down and strong arm it to where you can easily rebut it.
No, I'm just trying to make it easy to understand.
If it's difficult to understand, then you can read a little more. That's okay. But one of the major things that you need to sort of get at is the fact that having increased access to abortions saves more people. End of discussion. Look at the 2018 versus 2021.
What statistics are you citing, sir? Show me your sources.
2016 versus 2020 versus 2019, Ireland and Northern Ireland, when Ireland actually went strictly into a pro-life routine and started to outlaw different versions of abortion altogether, more women were getting access to undocumented abortions, more women were getting access to riskier abortions, more women were dying in childbirth, and were dying in the process of trying to abort their children.
A study just came out last week from Poland that's banned abortions that has zero maternal mortality rates.
Out of curiosity,
I would argue a ban on abortion saves more lives because it certainly saves the lives of children.
Okay, first of all, what was the bandwidth of this study? Second of all, what was the political affiliation of the people that posted it? Because I'm pretty sure that the World Health...
It was the Prime Minister.
Okay, so the World Health...
It was like the government.
So the government has less of a political affiliation than the World Health Organization and institutionally mandated sources of data.
Oh, I wouldn't trust the World Health Organization for anything. They already lied to us once.
Oh, brother. Okay. So
the World Health Organization isn't elected by anybody. Who elects the World Health Organization?
Why do elections and democracy have to be put into place in order for you to like actually have...
Wait, I have a
because you want to elect officials who are accountable to our laws and upholding truth and can be held accountable.
I have a question.
The World Health Organization, I would never point to as any other studies as being, statistically better than a governmental study. No, we can have meaningful conversations about public policy.
Like you have an
about
army to protect you. Why do you need guns? But you made a generalization against our country that we don't have human rights. So I wanted to know where are we not upholding human rights? Because you're not upholding it when it comes to abortion. You're only pro-life when it comes to situations like this. When it comes to ethnic minorities,
how do you know?
When it comes to the rights of minority groups, it's not just your policies. It's your whole group's policies.
You said you're only pro-life when? How do you know? You haven't asked me any other questions.
Because you don't care about actual human lives.
Where's your facts? How do you know that I don't care about human lives?
Look at you. You are right now arguing about fetuses, but you don't understand if mothers are actually human.
Yeah, I'm a mother. I've given birth 4 times.
I know I'm an actual human being. You are living. You are feeling. A fetus that is inside your body is not feeling.
The child in the womb can feel. At 12 and a half weeks, pro-choice and pro-life scholars agree, the Journal of Medical Ethics, that as early as 12 and a half weeks, the child, the fetus in the womb, can feel extraordinary pain during an abortion.
Okay, I need you to send that shit to me.
Well, you can Google it, but I can bring it up. I have my purse, my sources, but yeah, you can do Journal, I think it's Journal of Medical Ethics.
Because if you can convince me, I will change my mind.
Fetal pain in the first trimester. So here we go. So this is National Institutes of Health. This is 2022, and so I think.
Can you send it to me?
Do you want to take a picture of the article and then you can find it later?
Totally
Just take a picture of it, because this is on the NIH PubMed.gov website.
And
You found it. Look, you found it. He's reading it. So you have a question?
Hey,
Yep.
Kristan, I'm Joey, by the way. Thanks for entertaining this discussion with me. But right now, there's just a couple of different things that I wanted to start off with. First of all, you mentioned the fact that when you were talking about public policy, that we need to have a right to protect ourselves, right? And I feel like that's something that both you and I agree on. It is very important to institutionalize ways for groups of people, especially groups of people that have been oppressed, to protect themselves legally. How does removing abortion help women protect themselves from entering another domestic economy that they just got out of? Because the first 3 waves of feminism...
Are you assuming that women can't enter the domestic economy because they're pregnant or parenting? Because that's an incredibly
Where did I make that
statement.
assumption?
That's what you just said.
No, I said...
We need to help women so they can enter the domestic
Kristan,
economy.
please do not try to retake my words or anything. I said, how do you suppose that banning abortion will help protect women from entering back into a domestic economy that the first 3 waves of feminism were entirely about trying to give them an option to step out of? There's nothing wrong with a woman entering a domestic sphere or entering the domestic labor if that is her choice. But when you remove abortion, what you are doing is you are removing one of the legal institutions within which women can either choose to enter that domestic sphere or be forced into it. I feel like it's also especially important to notice that abortion laws have become increasingly more strict in this country as birth rates are going down, as our future economy is starting to get a little bit more worried because we have less children. It seems like removing abortion rates or removing ways for women to get access to abortion is a way to force women to engage in births.
Okay.
In order to power a future economy.
Are you saying that you want more births or less births?
I'm saying that you need to have abortion as a legal option that women can take in order to prevent the government from forcing them into a position where they are the byproducts of more manual labor.
Okay. All right. Do you think there's too many births of babies or too few births of babies in our economy?
That doesn't matter.
Well,
No, it doesn't matter, because what abortion does is it offers somebody an opportunity to be able to enter that birth or not.
I will talk about feminism, because I would say argue it was the first and second waves of feminism. But what about the rights of a whole group of marginalized human beings in the womb that are, 1 million of them are killed, 380,000 are killed by Planned Parenthood? Do their rights not count?
Kristan, before you try to engage in a logical deflection, we both know you're smart enough to respond to my point.
I just said
I
would respond to your point. I'm just asking you.
No, you're engaging in a deflection. When you're asking another question, when you're asking a question, instead of responding to how do you suppose that woman will be able to legally protect themselves?
I think your argument is sort of misogynistic, because you're assuming that women aren't strong enough to be pregnant, to achieve their educational goals, to achieve their career goals, and also be a mother. As a working mother, I get highly offended. The feminist Kristan in me gets very pissed off that you would insinuate that I can't run a $20 million organization, have 100 staff reporting to me, and at the same time be a good mother to 4 of my children.
Kristan,
that's
are you
the
not?
Would you not? You're making,
no, would you
not?
That
we're going to force women
Kristan,
into the domestic economy if they don't have access to abortion.
Well, I'm saying that.
You're underselling women is what you're doing,
First of all,
Joey. You're saying most women aren't capable of that. I'm answering your question if you let me continue to talk, because I'll continue
You think
to talk.
most women are capable of running a $20 million organization when most people in general don't have $20 million? You're an exceptional person. You are using your own exceptional certificates in order to...
With $20 million?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just undersold like all these women, that somehow I'm this special woman that can do something.
I'm saying that
has anyone else who's a woman who heard that and said, what the fuck is he talking about? Because that's what I'm thinking about.
Kristan, I'm saying...
You're going to have to edit that out, sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying that if you have $20 million, you're already at a point that is far beyond the means of most people.
I started at $0.
Yes, and you have demonstrated...
Do you not believe that the women here are listening to you
I'm saying
are not capable of starting their own organization or business with $0 and growing their business to $20 million while being a mother of 4 children?
I'm saying I don't think most people are capable of that, period. Otherwise, most people would have $20 million.
I argue for you, sorry. I think your point, is wrong.
My point is that abortion...
that I'm somehow this exceptional woman and that only rare people can run organizations and fundraise $20 million from scratch and also be a mother. I think women are strong enough and capable of that. What I was saying is Planned Parenthood sells women short. Planned Parenthood tells them that they're not capable to achieve their career goals, to achieve their education goals. Our college campuses tell them that. When our college campuses on the first day of freshman orientation tell girls where to go to Planned Parenthood, but don't actually highlight the federal and state mandated resources that are required at a state school by law to support pregnant and parenting women on this campus. I do that work. I highlight those policies. I threaten to sue the schools that doesn't allow women to carry their children to term because they're so afraid they're going to get red carded in sports or they're going to lose their academic or their scholarship for athletics.
And we can agree that your vocalization of those bills is important.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not against feminism. The first wave of feminism was pro-life, by the way. They were all anti-abortion advocates.
They were also TERFs, but...
Yes, I'm also a TERF as well.
Oh, interesting.
The second wave of feminism advocated for women's rights in the workplace and educational opportunities, which I would absolutely agree with. I think abortion sells women short time and time again. What we're saying in the pro-life movement is we have a very progressive vision. It's 2023 America. Surely we have the resources available that we can bring to bear to help a woman who's facing an unplanned pregnancy that she hasn't planned on, that may or may not be a crisis, that we can actually help her choose to carry her child to term, where she can decide she wants to parent or she wants to place the child to adopt a family. But we shouldn't have to resort to a violent, barbaric act to marginalize another group of human beings, children in the womb. How is removing abortion
because you're removing an opportunity. No, Kristan, because you're removing an opportunity. That's the same thing as trying to argue, these people are...
Opportunity to do what?
Opportunity to abort.
To kill another
If that's what you want to call it, sure, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should have the right to have the opportunity to kill an innocent human being. I think that is a moral wrong. Because this human being is a member of our
instead,
species,
you want to give people instead, you want to give a group of people who have already been exposed to the patriarchy no legal protection from the same principle that the patriarchy has always enforced, which is forcing them into the domestic economy. By removing abortion, you are making it far easier to force women into the domestic economy.
Do you have any sources for this? Do you have any quotes about, I don't know, GOP members of Congress who vote for abortion ban saying, I want to force women into the domestic economy? Because I don't see any facts for what you just said. What are your facts? What about the woman in the womb? Is the mother the patriarchy then?
You already like, I feel like we've had this conversation enough. I don't give a fuck about anyone in the womb. I'm talking about the people that are here.
There's the video. I don't give a fuck about anyone in the womb. This is our whole point in the pro-life movement, sir, is that children in the womb, little boys and little girls in the womb have an equal right to life as you and I do. You're precious. I'm precious. They're precious. All of us are equally valuable because we're human beings.
But when you remove abortion from being something those women in the womb can access in their future, then you are putting them in a society that implicitly gives them less opportunities than the little boys you're trying to protect.
Well, I'm trying to protect little girls too.
But you're doing so. Wait, no. So you're protecting the little girls in the womb
from being aborted from those.
But you're protecting those little girls at the expense of giving them the same opportunities as those little boys. Because one of the aspects of masculinity is the fact that we don't have to worry about aborting a child because it's never in our body.
You're not special as women.
My
body can do 3 things your body can't. I can gestate, I can menstruate, and I can lactate. We're superheroes as women.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wouldn't argue that I would say we're the superior sex.
Okay, the only thing that I'm saying...
Okay, can we go to another question?
For sure. Absolutely.
Nice to talk to you, Joey.
Of course.
Yeah.
Can I give you a hug?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I had a lovely conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Good to talk to you.
Okay, just a question out of curiosity.
Can you talk a little louder? I'm sorry.
So a question out of curiosity. Do you have any daughters or no?
Yes.
How old is
she's 8.
Okay. How would you feel if like your youngest got pregnant at 12?
It would be devastating.
Okay. But you would encourage her to keep the pregnancy?
Well, I would tell her that it would be wrong to kill a child who had no say in his or her creation, my grandchild. Now, I would be very concerned about my daughter's health, and I'd be taking her to the best maternal fetal specialists, the best OBGYNs in the country. Mm-hmm. And I would say, let's make sure my grandchild can survive as well as my daughter can survive this pregnancy.
So you're very supportive. You would be there for your daughter, right?
Absolutely. And my grandchild.
Okay. I come from where, like, if you do get pregnant, you're out of the house.
Mm-hmm. That's wrong.
That's your problem. That's not mine anymore. So you think that taking away my right to an abortion wouldn't make it, like, if a child gets pregnant at 12 and she doesn't have a supportive mother to help her get through that, mm-hmm. What are the chances she finishes high school? What are the chances she makes it through college? I
think those are absolutely valid concerns, and we do have parents in America who say terrible things like that. But I don't think that justifies saying, yes, abortion should be legal and a whole group of human beings should be violently killed. I think it's kind of like an extreme step that we take.
It's really
the
not.
step would be, how do we transform
That's not an extreme
our
step
society?
Because I can name a good amount of people that I know have gotten
No, but it's extreme step to
kicked out
say,
for being pregnant.
It's extreme step to say, well, we can't fix the parent, or we can't bring resources to bear in a community, or highlight resources that are already there in the community to support her. Therefore, we're just going to make this extremism of dismembering a human being alive in the womb legal. That's extremism. That's the extreme step I'm taking. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. So your position entirely is about you. It's not about the other human child.
Yeah.
Does that seem a little selfish to you?
100%. I will have no problem being that selfish. At the end of the day, that is my life. And
so you would put your life over another innocent life?
Yeah.
And you see no moral qualms with that?
Nope.
Can you think of like any historical things that have happened in our world where people have put their life over another human's life and said, fuck them, it's my life and this is the life that I value more?
Let me think.
Because my point was, you said you had no qualms about saying you were being selfish, and you embraced this selfishness to put your life and your ability to do whatever the hell you want over another human being's right to even be alive and not be violently killed in the womb. Because abortion is violence. It violently kills a human being that would totally be alive and living if not you ended that life through a Sofer clamp or digoxin.
So you would think the pill that you can take up to 6 weeks, that's violently killing it?
Yeah, because it starves. The first pill actually starves the child, denies progesterone, the hormone which feeds the child. Okay. And then the second pill causes violent contractions in the womb to expel the child.
So, what about the morning after pill?
The morning after pill can be abortifacient. We don't know how often. It can cause an early abortion. It says on the back of the Plan B box. If you go to Google Images, it'll say on the left side in big font, it'll say will not harm an existing pregnancy. And on the right side in small font, it'll say may prevent a fertilized egg from implanting. That would be an abortion because fertilized egg is semantics. If you Google the word fertilized egg, you get embryo. And if you Google, or you get zygote. If you Google zygote, it's a unique human being. And what the plan, because most of us were conceived while the egg was in the fallopian tube and the sperm.
You're against the morning after pill?
I say we actually need studies on that because the makers of the morning after pill says it could cause an early abortion. That's what they say. We don't know because there's actually been no studies as to how often it causes abortion. I'd like to know before there was a policy prescription to that. Most people don't even know that because they go, oh, fertilized egg, that's an egg. But that's actually not an egg now because now it's a unique human being. But they use the word egg to make it sound like it's not a human being. No, so it sounds like a part, not whole.
That's, again, you're just going based off technical terms because I will still
I do try to use technical terms when I describe human beings.
Well, it's just based off choice of words because I would still say it's just a cell. It's just a fertilized egg.
I'm just a clump of cells. What's the difference between me and the zygote in the womb? Okay, so here, let's go some pictures. One more thing, and then I've got somebody's behind you. I'll show you some photos.
Assume someone else is asleep.
Yeah, somebody so. Here's a child.
Yeah.
At 16 weeks in the womb. Got it on Google Images if you want the source. This is a 4D, 3D ultrasound. Okay? Now, because of an iPhone malfunction, every time I go to my iPhone, the first pictures that come up are my child's 4D ultrasound. So let me get a cute one here. Okay, here's a cute one. Which child? I think this is, hold on. 2000. Okay. This is Gracie. Oh, this is my baby girl. Okay. I don't know. iPhone thinks that these pictures were taken in 2041. So I see them. So this is my daughter Gracie at 28 weeks.
28 weeks. So she's there, yeah.
What was the difference between the picture I just showed you and her? Like
the first one was a car without a passenger, and this is a car with a passenger.
Huh?
That would be my position.
Yep.
As in your personhood was in there in 28 weeks,
that's your
but
position.
not before.
I think it's extremely dangerous, and I think you're wrong, and you're not.
I don't think it's dangerous at all. I think we can have clear lines.
Yeah. There's no difference between the two pictures, but.
I feel like it's unconstitutional and un-American to limit someone because we have the right to those religious beliefs. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what I believe. Like, I have my own Christian beliefs, and I can choose not to have an abortion. But if someone wants one, they're going to get one.
You're not hearing. Okay, so if you're a Christian, and we're going to go religious. I haven't been going religious, but we can go religious. If you're a Christian and you say, well, I can choose not to have an abortion, but I have no say in someone else, then you're not really a Christian because you're called to stand up for the weak. You're called to stand up for the vulnerable. You're called to stand up for people who are made in God's image. So you're not actually being a Christian.
The true Christian thing to do would be to defend those people who want to live their own lives and worship God in their own way. If their right to worship is based on that. So you're saying abortion is an act of worshiping God? No, I'm saying that as a Christian, I should allow other people to live and encourage them firstly to be a Christian.
You need to go back and read the New Testament.
No, you need to go back and read because you're not being Christian.
Where in the New Testament does it say that an innocent baby...
Where is the love that you're supposed to be addressing me with as a Christian?
Where does it say?
Why are you screaming at me? This is supposed to be respectful.
I get really angry at people who say that they're Christians, but
you're acting unchristian.
That then say that these children who are made in the image of God, if you want to get metaphysical, should be allowed to be violently ended. So I'm sorry if I'm acting unchristian to you. If I can turn over this table right now, I would have already done it because it's extremely frustrating when someone wants to say that they're a Christian and then say that this child in the womb who's made in his image, who is vulnerable, should be allowed to be killed for the selfish whims. And as we saw earlier, the young woman that we had a lovely conversation with, I don't know if you heard it, who actually, thankfully, said the real thing that no one ever wants to say in an abortion discussion was that it comes down to her selfish desire of putting her over someone else.
Absolutely. It does come down to that. And as a Christian, that's why I said I wouldn't allow it. I wouldn't do it. But if another person...
If you're not joining me in the pro-life movement to end the violence of abortion, you're allowing abortion.
It's an infringement on other people's rights and liberties. We should encourage them with love not to do it. We shouldn't force them not to abide.
I don't know if you know much about me and my organization. We actually have a whole other organization called Standing With You, which encourages women to choose.
That's different. That's entirely different.
More than 3,000 resources at any day, any time of the day, she can go or he can go to get support and get connected to loving alternatives, non-violent alternative community. Because we know when it comes to ending abortion, it's cultural and it's political, and the two things go hand in hand. Because would you agree, Shirley, you agree with me, that ending slavery in our country was a cultural problem? We had to inform people that Black Americans, Black people, they weren't even considered fully Americans at that moment. Black people were human beings that had the equal right to life and liberty and pursuit of happiness. And we also had to change laws. You would agree with me that we needed both, right? You would agree that we should have said, no, slavery should be legal whenever, wherever. Let's work to change culture, but let's leave it legal.
An understanding of the historical context demonstrates that slavery was more of an economic issue, which was turned into a cultural issue by the people who wanted to maintain the source of resources and money.
So
I wouldn't use that as an argument.
The anti-slaverists, John Quincy Adams, Thaddeus Stevens, all the guys in Congress who are advocating for abolition and the passage of anti-slavery laws. Were they wrong because they were spending time fighting to ban slavery?
No, absolutely not.
So
but I feel
agree,
like they're different.
Laws banning slavery is good.
I feel like they're different things. I feel like there shouldn't have ever been a point where we needed laws to ban slavery.
Well, no, we shouldn't have, but human beings sometimes need to be restrained in some of their evil impulses.
We chose that was the only way.
Abortion is fundamentally anti-American because it deprives another member of our species of their right to life. And it says, my right to liberty, to do what the hell I want to do with my body, supersedes another person's right to life because of their size, because of their location, because of their age. That is discrimination. And as a Christian, I would hope you would agree with me that when there are weak and marginalized human beings, members of our species, who we know as Christians, you and I, were made in God's image, we have a moral obligation to do everything we can to speak out for them. And we know laws save lives, my friend, because a report just came out over Thanksgiving that said 32,000 babies have been born in America. That we know. We don't have a national abortion reporting law. I actually think the number is way lower than it really is. But this is all we have because Planned Parenthood won't allow us a national abortion reporting law. But we know of 32,000 babies that have been born in America since Roe versus Wade fell. So we know laws save lives. As a Christian, and as you as a Christian, we know truth, we know it's alive, we know it's living, we know this is a human being made in God's image. So aren't we morally compelled to fight for that truth and protect those innocent, vulnerable people?
I would never advocate for an abortion, but I will never prevent someone from doing so if they believe that their God,
I will never advocate
their
for
laws,
slavery, but I will never prevent someone from
their
owning
God,
a slave.
their laws.
What's wrong with that
so.
statement? I will never advocate for slavery, but I will never stop someone from owning a slave. What is wrong with that statement?
Because this is the thing. What does the slave believe? What does the baby believe? Right? Because when you're like, there would be nothing wrong if that person believed that they deserved to be a slave. You know,
John,
like
how do
you
feel
can't
about
ask
that?
the baby what the baby believes. The baby has no morality. You have no respect for the students that are here that are just trying to talk. I really just want to get this idea across.
Oh, I've been
and we've
listening to you
answered
talk. I'm
You know?
astounded
No.
by the things that you've said.
But it's
I'm
just, it's the
literally
respect.
astounded.
It's the sense of respect.
Oh,
You
I'm
know,
respecting you because I'm allowing you to continue to talk.
We have the right to talk.
Oh.
This is what I'm saying. We have the right.
This is
It's
my event.
not that.
I'm delaying my podcast to listen to you talk.
I appreciate
But I
it.
also have the right to be completely astounded at the things that are coming out of your mouth.
I genuinely appreciate it. But the whole point isn't about laughing at the words. It's not about just trying to see
Because
like
you're
where I'm
denying
wrong.
human rights.
Maybe it's human rights to us, to you and me as Americans in UF who had the
we're in
pleasure
America.
to be in like
I'm
a
fighting
college
to
and
end
an
abortion
educated
in
world.
America.
Right. But then
We
what
in America
none of
generally
my
agree
parents, none of my
on
parents are
certain
American.
things.
None of my parents are from America. My father was raised on an island in the middle of
Okay,
nowhere.
but you're in America. I'm
with
talking
no
about
science.
American pro-life laws.
Right. They live
So
in America
so
now.
when you live in America, you agree to certain like cultural, societal principles, right?
Absolutely.
And you understand the Declaration of Independence and how our founding fathers protested the injustice of the English.
The Constitution
right?
guarantees us the right to be our own people, though. The people from the island that my dad was on that had no internet, my dad had never seen a computer till he came to the U.S., right? They didn't even have medicine. For them, when they came here and they see all this stuff, like they have like access to surgeons.
We have an amazing, awesome country.
You know? Yeah,
And
it's
every
incredible, and we have the ability to make those choices now. You know, but back then in that country, those cultures, abortion might have been a completely different thing. I'm actually going to talk to him about that tonight because it could have been a completely different thing for him, a completely different idea.
Would abortion been moral on that island nation?
Maybe it was because they didn't have the access to that information. They didn't have the access to science to know that it's okay. And they come here and maybe they learn more, but America guarantees you that like America's based off of immigrants. It's based off of people from different countries coming here, acclimating, getting used to our laws and our customs, but their laws and their customs as well. You know,
but we're allowed to have laws
guarantee you.
protecting human rights in our country.
Right.
That's what we do in the pro-life movement.
Right.
We're advocating for laws and cultural and societal changes that advocate and protect human rights.
But
there's nothing more American than what I'm doing.
But what about those people who are coming to this country and they don't think that that is a human life yet, and that's their morals?
Well,
that's
we
their
know it's a
moral
human
law.
life.
But
Science tells it's human life.
they have
I
no
don't
access
care if
to
they don't
science.
think it's a human life. Science is definitive. It's a human life. And I'm sorry, if you come to our country as immigrant, welcome. I'm from immigrants as well. But when you come to our country, we agree on certain societal principles. One of them is that human life should be protected. We all generally agree, innocent human life should be protected. That's one of the things, right? It's called assimilation into the culture. What is wrong with fighting to protect human life in America?
There is nothing wrong with fighting to protect it, but
you called me unchristian several times because I'm fighting to ban abortion. How am I unchristian?
It's because you're fighting to ban it. You're fighting to just straight up prohibit it. We should just be encouraging people with love.
Killing.
We're not supposed to be tyrannic forces. And that's the thing. When you make it a politics thing, you make it a fight for oppression for a lot of people. A lot of people are gonna believe that oh, it's a women's rights thing. Now it's this, and that. But when you're pushing a social, like your other organization, which is a social based, and it's based upon just outreach and helping people, that's a completely different approach. That is what I would consider the Christian approach to it. You know what I mean?
I'm so glad that half of what I do applies to your Christian ethics. I would be very, very glad about that.
Yeah, there's a variety of Christian ethics ever since 1492. There's been a variety of them, but it doesn't matter.
I think your theology is pretty whacked out, my friend.
I think
that you can't say that slavery is wrong.
The Bible condones it. The Bible does condone it.
You can't say slavery is wrong in 2023 America.
The Bible condones it. I can say in 2023 America, slavery is wrong. I can't say in another country.
You just like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I wouldn't advocate
in America.
Against, I'm not advocating for slavery, but I would allow you to have the right to say you weren't a slave in a person. And you would not say that what I just said was wrong.
In America, that's the conventions that we've agreed upon. And that's what I believe.
In America, we have conventions.
I'm talking about other places. There are other groups of people who might not think so. And that's fine. I have a class to get to. I really appreciate this. I really appreciate you talking to me and giving me different ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Sorry you think I'm a shitty Christian.